just say briefly about the niyamas overview? Quick. What are the niyamas about, Eddie?
I mean, you know here all day.
Okay.
Overview of the niyama. The yama means restriction. The first thing we need to do is have some boundaries so we know where we need to begin looking. And they relate to the outer world of relationships. All ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, and aparigraha. We're skipping brahmacharya today because we decided we can only speak from experience up here. And so then niyama is the personal observances. Now that we're relating to the world, how are we going to relate to ourselves? We have this outer understanding of the world and how we're going to get along with it. What is the inner understanding of our inner world and how we're going to get along with that? That is niyama.
Very good.
We're going home now.
So, Saucha is cleanliness. Thank you very much. All right, cleanliness. See, these things at first seem very easy, right? But Tabi Joyce, in his great wisdom, and he would pare things down into simple terms to sum it up. And he used to say this often: "Oh, yoga is not easy." Well, what do you think he meant? Yoga is not easy. Well, you see, as we're stumbling through these things, it's not easy. The non-violence, all that stuff. Actually, yoga is not easy. The asanas are a challenge, but the rest of the day is the bigger challenge. So, cleanliness. Cleanliness seems like a no-brainer. Like you would just say, yes, we should all be clean, right? Do you agree? We should all be clean. So where's the problem come in? Define it. My wife and I have different definitions.
I see a room like it looks clean to me.
But she has a different definition, so automatically you're like, wow. Who decides? Well, in this instance, my wife does, of course. Like, where's the board of cleanliness that decides when this is clean or not clean, or how many levels of clean, or whatever? And there are different levels. Shelley, my wife, grew up in a military family. Her father was a colonel in the army, right? So she was used to a very high level of organization and order and structure, and our spices are alphabetized, and things are very orderly. And I have realized that Shelley finds great comfort in this. When things are organized and in order, she feels really calm. And if there's one thing I've learned, is when mama's happy, everybody's happy. So she finds this structure and it makes her calm. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with learning to be neater, right? Now, another woman I loved, I say loved because she has passed away, was my mother, right? She grew up in a family that she had like this stereotypical wicked stepmother that made her clean all the time, clean up after everybody else, and she hated it, and she left home when she was a kid. So she raised us in an environment where she wanted to be relaxed. She wanted to be able to come in the house and be able to sit down and put your feet up and be totally relaxed. What this meant was there was stuff everywhere. We had a theory growing up that anything you could ever possibly need in your life is within one arm's reach of where you're sitting. You need change for $1, you need a phone, you need a hot, you need whatever it is. It's better to be a screwdriver, it's better to be right there. Right? Because one wasn't enough, you needed more than one, whatever the thing was. So this was another person, and for her, that's the level of cleanliness she felt comfort in. Now, let's say these are two spots on a graph. Now, what's fascinating to me is you could really go a lot further beyond each of these women, right? Of these people. It's happened to be women, so I'm not saying anything about women. I love these women. So, my mother is just a lot. it was clutter and it was a lot of stuff, but it wasn't pathological. It wasn't like those homes where you see where they have 17 cats, 4 dogs, a llama, and an ostrich, and they're all living in that house, and there's rotting food and feces, and it's a health hazard. It wasn't like that. It was just she liked to have stuff around her. Fine. And there are people that would think Shelley is not neat. You've heard about a person who goes into a room. Let's say you use the toilet one day. You finish, you wash your hands, you go and you grab the doorknob to leave the toilet. You're like, wow, there's a lot of germs on that door. I better wash my hands. Well, there's a lot of germs on that door. I better wash my hands. Well, there's a lot of germs on that door. You get stuck in one room in your house forever because it's the only place that's clean. Is that an enlightened understanding of cleanliness, or now has it become pathological? So there's all different ideas of cleanliness. It only becomes a problem when you can't function in your day, right? But we all have different ideas of it, and to get along in society and relationships, you learn how to respect each other's different things, and you get along. But the idea of cleanliness, I think, is really not taught much in yoga. I used to do a little bit of martial arts when I was a kid growing up, and martial artists are taught from the day one to keep the space clean where you practice. Before you enter, you stop, you put your feet together, you bow, and you step in. You respect the space. If you see some advanced belt picking up a piece of trash, you'll feel bad about that. They're teaching by example, keep the place nice and neat. Yeah? I see a lot of yoga studios. I travel all over the place. And after a yoga class, just glance around the room. You're going to see puddles of sweat, Kleenex, empty water bottles, and just stuff. You're practicing yoga, it should be taught like a backpacker. You brought it in, you can bring it out, right? You sweat on the floor, you dry it up. You leave stuff behind, carry it up. Learn to keep the space clean, right? Keep your body clean. Keep your yoga mat clean. There's people who have their favorite mat and outfit. They never wash any of them. You're like, oh my God, don't you smell this? and so that's part of it. Should be taught. It doesn't go to extreme, but just cleanliness, right? But then you can expand upon that. And I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm not going to go on and on and on. But you can expand upon that concept and go from your room to your house, to your city, to your state, to your country, to your planet. If you pollute the air here, it affects over there. I was teaching in Beijing. I was teaching class and I said, breathe if you have to. Preferably exhale, but if you have to inhale, with caution, right? And you can't even point your finger and go, look how bad they are, because we just took steel factories from here and moved them all over there. So we just moved the stuff from one place to another. So it brings in environmental issues. We should be just aware. We can become overwhelmed and go, there's too much. I can't solve the problems of the world. These issues are too big, so I'll just do nothing. And can I go a minute longer? A moment longer? Okay, 2 minutes. Okay, very fast. Tim might like this story because it's about his beloved Hanuman. So, Ram's wife is kidnapped and stolen off to the island of Lanka. And he's upset by this. He wants to get his wife back. So he decides he's going to build a bridge from the tip of India to Sri Lanka. And so Hanuman, his great, powerful, devoted monkey warrior who is so strong and powerful, he can take the tops of mountains and things, and he's throwing them into the sea, and he's moving so much material, and it's like, wow. And at the same time, there's a little ant running back and forth and dropping 1 grain of sand into the sea. And Hanuman goes, hey, ant, what's up? 1 grain of sand, come on. I'm throwing whole mountains in here, dropping 1 grain of sand, what's that about? And I'm doing the real work here. I'm really the devoted one to Ram, and get out of the way, you're just going to get hurt, you're slowing me down. Ram overhears this and goes, oh, Hanuman, it is true. You are my great and devoted and powerful devotee. However, you're misunderstanding the situation here. That ant is doing equal work to you according to his capacity. Now, the Hanumans in the world, people like Bill Gates or, people that have position and power and can throw a lot of money and energy and touch a lot of people. But they can't do that without the little ants throwing 1 grain of sand in. So each of us can be one little ant. And you get 1 billion ants doing small things like turn off the lights when you're not in the room, turn off the water when you're brushing your teeth, and etc. And the world could be a cleaner place at the end.